I'm not going to make changes. Put the skies back in. Windows.
It's okay, yeah. Uh, Thank you.
Yeah, dear Venerable Sirs and dear friends in the Dhamma, welcome back to the second session of our special gathering, our Thanksgiving gathering. So today we are celebrating our fellowship, our community, and also appreciating the generosity of people and showing our gratitude. So this afternoon we are going to spend some time on talking a little bit about gratitude and how we can cultivate our gratitude from an emotional expression to more like an attitude, more like a way of being. So that's our goal. So before we actually start talking about it, I thought that maybe this is a good time that we will take 2 minutes, I think, 2 minutes to feel it. Because what we're going to talk about is actually a human feeling, and what we feel inside of us. So it's important that we experience it, before we talk about it. So I invite you to take 2 minutes with our monks, and we will take some time to feel the gratitude and gratefulness and thankfulness. And of course, there are so many things in our life that we can be grateful for. But let's be very specific today. And right now, at this very moment, there can be things that you can be grateful for right now. At this very moment in this room, while we are sitting here, and let's take 2 minutes to think about what are the things that I'm grateful for right now. What are the things that enable my comfort, my happiness, my well-being, my safety at this very moment. So I will help the ring of the bell to settle in your mind, and I will watch the clock. We will spend 2 minutes just to think about actually right now who are helping us. Right now, what is helping us, supporting us, and what are the things that we can be grateful for right now. Okay. Thank you. I hope that you could find more than one that you can be grateful right now. Right? Um, so it kind of should help us to understand that if we pay attention to, we can find something to be grateful at any given time in our life. Even though we are in a very difficult situation, even though we feel that it's very unfair, and even in such situation, if we pay attention to, we will able to find things that we can be grateful for. But the challenge that we have is that actually we forget to do so. Like country, and we are kind of unconsciously trained our mind to find what is lacking. That's how we look at our situations in life, right? And even right now, maybe you can easily find what is lacking here. Maybe not enough cushions. We have cushions, right? But maybe not enough warmth or not enough chairs. Very easily we can quickly find out what is lacking here. But we need almost purposeful paying attention to understand what we have, or what we are enjoying, what is available to us. So that is why we need a kind of this conscious and purposeful paying attention to see that. I think we have this heritage kind of we got from our ancestors. When we are living in harsh environments, in before industrial period, it was beneficial for our ancestors to remember bad things, remember dangers, because the survival was the big issue, and so it was helpful during that time to pay attention to dangers, pay attention to what went wrong, rather than paying attention to what is right. Because when you remember that, it can help you to be prepared and help. I mean, not help, but somehow survive. Like and if you go out and you met a tiger, but you also met maybe 5 beautiful fruits along the way. And it will be more useful for us to remember that we met tiger and that is for, rather than remembering there were beautiful, delicious 5 fruits I found along the way. Because if you only remember the 5 fruits and forget about the tiger, and next time when you travel, you instead of eating the fruits, you will be the food for the tiger. So it was helpful during that time to really remember what went wrong, and it helped us to survive. But I think we have come quite a long way, but somehow we still carry those patterns, right? Those you can call them patterns, and sometimes they are helping us. They are helping us. They are helping us to survive. But we don't have to be in the survival mode all the time, because survival mode is important. It can help us to save our life. But survival mode is not really a healthy mode, and we need to kind of move from survival mode to, maybe you can call it like a thriving mode, from surviving mode to thriving mode. And for that, we need a lot of unlearning, so to speak, a lot of awareness of our own habitual mental patterns, and purposefully changing our attention and changing our thinking. So what we do in our meditation is kind of counteracting those patterns. Like Bhante Pune is here with us, and Bhante Pune started important tradition of loving kindness. He's learning from the tradition of meditation. Bhante Pune also brought his own experience and own discovery, and then in his loving kindness meditation, there's a repetitive wishes, repetitive thoughts that we are generating purposefully. It kind of change this. kind of change the usual way that we think. So thank you, Ben, for that meditation. That's a gift that you have given to us. We will talk about it later, right? Yeah. And so gratitude also the same thing. I was so our topic is actually how we can transform emotional expression of gratitude to an attitude. Of course, there are moments in our life that we are helped by others in a very visible way, in a very prominent way. Yeah. And like somebody gave us a ride, somebody brought us, bought a gift to us. Maybe somebody will cook a meal for us, just like you did today for us. In all these difficulties, you took the burden to cook food for us. So those are moments that we have been helped very prominently and very visibly. So when we encounter those moments, we feel grateful. It's an emotion. We feel grateful. We say thank you. We express it with our facial expressions and gestures and everything. So that is happening, but even for that to happen, we need some kind of training too, because sometimes even with their help, we even ignore that, and maybe still forget that. But usually, people will express their gratitude when they are helped in a very visible, very prominent ways. But in order for us to transform this emotion to an attitude, we need to pay attention to the ways that we are helped by others in a very kind of invisible ways. It is not prominent. And so, in order for us to, to change this gratitude to an attitude, like an enduring mental state, we need to train our mind to recognize the help, the support, the care, the love that we're experiencing, that we experiencing as gift of others, which are not very prominent, which are not very visible. For example, if you take an example right now, we are all sitting here, we are all sitting on cushions, on chairs. Somebody should have brought this chair, this place for you to sit down. And somebody should have brought these cushions, this room for us to sit down. But it is not visible, right? It's not visible, but someone has done. If you see somebody is bringing a chair for you to sit down, that's visible, so you can express. But this was arranged for that. And those things are not very visible. Even you can do a little experiment, there are many other invisible ways that we are helped by so many other people. And even for us to have this gathering right here, so many people, so many things, so many people should have done so many good things. We moved to this new place, right? So many people have come forward and they have given their time, their donations, their contribution for us to have this wonderful place for us to sit. And we all enjoy that place. It is not very visible, but we are helped by that. And even one other example would be, during this winter season, we need quite comfortable warm clothes, warm whatever clothes. The clothes that you are wearing right now, you may have taken this from your closet, right? But sometimes the clothes that you are wearing may be a gift that you got from someone. Think about it. Look at your clothes. Yeah, this is a gift actually. Think about that. Who gave you this? Or maybe you have bought this from somewhere. But even for us to buy it, particularly the price that we are buying today, somebody should have given their labor to a very low cost. That is why you can buy these clothes. Actually, yesterday when we had the event in Finland, I was, talking, discussing with children. We had a small session for children. So we did an experiment. I asked them, okay, and you are wearing these beautiful clothes, but these clothes should have come to you from somewhere else. Someone should have spent time, maybe even sleepless nights, to make this dress for you. And we actually did an experiment. We checked everyone's clothes. Behind that clothes blanket, we can see where that clothes this came from. We had about 15 children, right?
Yeah.
Those clothes were from about 10 countries. From Nicaragua, from Peru, from Vietnam, Bangladesh. Maybe we can do that experiment right now. How about that? Can we help each other to find where this dress is coming from? Yes, we can find. That's a one. You know for sure, yeah, this dress has. Can you help each other?
Yeah.
Sarah, did you find out? Wow, let's get the name. Yeah. This can be really big.
Amazing. Thing like you.
Okay, that is a good experiment. Let us start. Just see, how many countries will come, This area,
Vietnam.
Vietnam,
China.
China.
Vietnam.
What did-
Bangladesh.
what about you?
I think one of which I'm wearing is from Sri Lanka, so I'll go with that. I can't find the label there.
So, no, I think you made it, right? Did you? That's not it. How about you?
China.
China. Oh, yeah.
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Taiwan.
Oh, Taiwan.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah.
Vietnam.
Vietnam,
China.
China,
Indonesia.
Indonesia,
Honduras.
Honduras.
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yes.
How about you, Bill?
China.
China. How about you?
Mine doesn't, I don't like tags, so I cut them.
They don't make it up. Nowadays you find in this pandemic many productions are actually low. And even though you want to buy it, no matter how money we have, you go to a store, you don't have it.
I asked in this question, at least some money, but we did not spend any money for this, any of those.
Yeah, as money said, yeah.
That's money.
Yes,
So, if I come myself, you will chase me away without any doubt, because I can come only without any dress.
All our gifts, all our gifts, yes.
Not only that, Bhante, but
Huh?
like there was somebody that grew the cotton, and somebody
Yes,
who spun it,
exactly.
and somebody who wove the fabric, and made the machines that sewed it, and
And yeah, there's unending network, right? Unending network that just enable us to wear this cloth. That's the invisible part of being healthy. So, of course, even though we have money, these will be not available if they don't make it. And particularly to the price that you are buying this now, and we will not be able to really buy to this price if those people work to the proper wage. And those, El Salvador, Vietnam, Bangladesh, China, and all these people are working day and night for very, very, very low wage. And that enable us to buy a lot of clothes here. Of course, there's also middlemen who's making money, but they are hard work. They're hard work. When they make this, they make sure that they put the stitching in the right place, and they have done it. So think about how many people who we never see in our life help us in many different ways. So you think, going back to Nancy's network, when you think about that, and every time we are actually experiencing a benefit of kind acts of others all the time. There's no moment in our life that we don't experience the benefit of someone's kindness. It's always we are benefiting. It's sometimes prominent, sometimes not prominent. And yesterday when I asked the children, what they are grateful for, one child told me that she is grateful for his bed. So yeah, because he told me that when he's get tired, you can lie down there and release his tiredness, and it's also giving him warmth. So even the time that we are sleeping, even when we are sleeping, we are actually benefiting from someone's kindness. So think about that. There's no moment in our life that we are not being helped. So when we open our eyes and try to see that, particularly the invisible ways that we are helped, and that is when we can develop this gratitude to an enduring state of being. Because all the time, if we have nothing to do, waiting in line to buy something in the shop, waiting in the traffic light, and just think about, even in that moment, there are so many ways that people are helping us. And so when you think about that, the only way to live is simply saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Not saying that, but just having that, that feeling, that so many people are making this life possible. And this attitude of gratitude is actually based on a very deep Buddhist doctrine also, Advante, dependent origination. The Buddhist doctrine of dependent origination is helping us to understand that anything, other things are also depending on so many other things are depending on so many other things, and you come back to the original thing. So all that leaning and to each other, and that's how anything exists in the world. So very existence is interdependence. It's not only interconnectedness. We are definitely interconnected, but beyond that we are interdependent. So the idea of self, individual, is a very fabricated, very constructed, and also what we call a very conventional idea, because there is no essentially kind of separate individual or self. The individual and self is actually the manifestation, maybe reflection of what is not self, or what is not that individual. Because all other things has enabled that individual or that unit, that self, to exist. So what we call self is actually embodiment of all things that are not self. That kind of understanding. So when we have this understanding, what we call ego, what we call our idea that I somehow is a special separate being. Of course, we feel in that way. That's how our senses and everything is organized, and we cannot simply ignore that. We can pretend that we don't feel that way, but we can gradually start to think about it and see what this self is made of, and understanding that what I call the I, the individual, the existence of me, is possible due to so many other conditions. And of course, definitely the kindness of others, and as human beings, we are at the mercy of our parents. Particularly as human beings, the human babies are the most vulnerable, most demanding babies in the world. Other animals can become so independent quite early, right? I think the nurse will help us to understand the babies. Human babies take so long to be independent, right? So we are here if really because of kindness of our parents, if really and our family members, our teachers, and so many others, and even this very moment that we are here, due to so many, help that we receive from others, which are not very visible. Even the very body that we are carrying, and the body could be one thing that we really feel, okay, this is really, something that belongs to me. But this very body is actually definitely our genes are a gift from our parents and parents' parents, our ancestors. That's how we get this look, this height, this color, everything. And other than that, our body is what we have eaten so far. Probably things, right? And all those, we have very special kind of connection. These are actually the environment. It's been kind of came to us, and of course our genetic makeup is making these other things. So even our very body is actually a product of so many things around us. So many things that we are eating so far. It is made, these muscles and everything. So it's not really originally. So we can see that how this idea of self and how we are interconnected and interdependent. So when we have this deeper and deeper understanding, we begin to feel that how much we are reliant on other conditions just to be. Of course, I didn't talk about the breath. The breathing is so vital, and if you don't breathe, for 2 minutes, 2 minutes, our brain starts dying. And of course, our breath has made possible by all beautiful trees around us and many things. So we can just continue to do that. So there is no moment, and so these are the environmental conditions. But when you think about actual people, always we are experiencing kindness of someone. So that's why that's how we can transform our emotional expression. Because emotional gratitude occurs to us when we see someone is directly helping us. But attitude is something that we have to purposely cultivate by training to pay attention to things that are not very visible. Even most of usually we feel grateful for things that happen to us. The things that the help that we receive to us. We should also be grateful for things that has not happened to us. Don't you think so, right? And we were watching weather report, since the the beginning of the week, and we really want our Sunday to be, the days that many people can come. And sometimes weather reports say it can rain a lot, but it didn't rain. It didn't happen. So we are so grateful that it did not happen. So things that not has happened is also something that we can be grateful for, right? That if you're expecting a hurricane and we are tracking the hurricane, we make everything. We are still so worried, and hurricane didn't happen, maybe it didn't hit our area. So we can be so grateful for the thing that has not happened. And think about so many other things, right? When you cook your food, it didn't burn out today. So therefore it could have happened, right? So, and so many things, you didn't get into accident when you're cooking, right? So many things have not happened that we can be grateful for too. So I think, then it becomes possible that actually we can maintain this enduring state of gratitude. Because usually when you look at our life, look at our situation, and usually what we feel is not enough. Because there are so many things we like to have, so many things that we need for our comfort, for our well-being. At any given time, there are rooms for improvement. Any given time, there could be something that make our life a little bit more comfortable. Anytime. But we always focus on those things. But I think what is happening with gratitude is that we first acknowledge what we have. So we kind of shift away from like not enough, not enough in that demanding kind of mentality to like, okay, I have this, and I have received these helps, I am benefiting the kindness of these people. And once you have this, you're not going to give up your pursuit of the next level of your well-being. You are going to do it, but you are doing it from a place of strength, not the place of weakness. Like it's like when you're leaning to grab something, you can fall down. But if you can stand firm and you can reach your hands and grab anything, or you can also help someone by reaching the hand. But first, you need to have a firm stand. So gratitude is giving us that kind of stability. That we may still have many things that we need to achieve in our life, many things that we need to get. But in order for us to get it, if you are getting so much to it, we may fall down, we may not even get that. But if you first focus on things that we can be grateful for at any time, we are enjoying, we are benefiting from others, we are enjoying the kindness from others all the time in different ways. And when you focus on that, it kind of gives us a stability, some strength. Okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, but it's still, I may pursue this. But we have more strength to achieve other levels of well-being through that. So in that way, I think we will be able to have more positivity within our life. And this is a fact. This is not simply a kind of imagination, or maybe like cheating ourselves, like a so-called maybe like purely positive mindset that we just somehow have to be positive. This is realistic actually, not simply only a kind of fooling ourselves, but this is realistic. If you pay attention, we can really find so many things that that we can be grateful for, and we are benefiting the kindness of so many people at any given time. It is real. It is real. We just have to tune our mind to see that, particularly in visible ways. So that will help us to stay in gratitude most of the time. Thank you for your attention. Yeah. And also, you're also helping me just simply not disturbing us. I mean, we have to be grateful for things that has not happened yet too, right? So you are paying attention. You're not like having another discussion here. You're not nodding and falling asleep here. So I'm grateful for that. Yes, Nandi, thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Yes, any question?
Yes. Just an observation. In the times that we're currently living in, there is such a heavy dose of the darker forces, I'll use that language, which is multi-layered and complex. And we live in a time of technology where media outlets are speaking most loudly about the darker forces. And people are tuning in more to that rather than to that which is of light, of buoyancy, of gratitude. And I see individuals within my own sphere who know that it begins with us, with each and every one of us, to adopt that attitude of gratitude. But I see so many people growing very jaded in this time and very cynical, even those who do know about the attitude of gratitude, because the noise of the dark is so loud. And it truly is drowning out so much of the good that's going on in the world right now. So I just wonder if you all have a perspective or a view on how to out-platform those loud platforms, how to really generate this at a level that has the impact to lift volumes of people, rather than just a few.
That's a challenge. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think? How to there are so much of news, so much of noise about maybe negative things. They can be real, but there's so much of silence to so many good things happening in the world. Right? So how to balance that? Even we need to start a news outlet. Yes.
Everything that you bring into your body has to come through a receiver.
Okay.
And if you take your receiver off the hook of your telephone, the messages cannot come in. An attitude of not receiving blocks much of the negativity that's trying to enter your body. So shut off the receiver, turn it down. You don't have to turn the television on to listen to that. You don't have to open the newspaper to look at that. You don't have to do any of those things. It's a volitional choice. So shut the door, turn off the light, take off the receiver, and it can't come in.
What do you think? So, but how about being an informed citizen?
There's the ability to choose your news. And one of the ways might be a newspaper. It comes to your dwelling with many sections of it. Many of those sections are garbage. You need not open those sections and look at them. Instead of looking at, if you choose to look at the television set to choose your news, you perhaps might not want to choose local news, because the local news really wants just to give you, this one was shot, that one was run over, this one was robbed, that one was killed, this terrible, terrible, terrible things happen. Whereas if you go to a national news service, you're more prone to get news that is less in your face. It's more worldly. So instead of somebody shoving it down your throat, make choices.
Yeah. So it's a good solution for an individual, approach. Definitely, I think good point that there's a receiver all the time. So receiver is under our control. So we can maybe minimize, close, minimize, maximize, based on the need. Yeah.
I think we have to add a little bit more to that attitude. While you are shutting off or disconnecting your receiver, come to the center and practice it with loving kindness. Then you can go out without any problem and share your loving kindness with everybody in every direction.
Yeah, I think that's sharing. I think the Adrian's point was that, okay, so we can have that individual, approach, protect ourselves, from being contaminated, being influenced by negativity. But how we can make an impact on the society, that will be a challenge. How we can help others.
Isn't it lead by example?
Yeah. So. Yes.
When it comes to making an impact, even towards somebody who is reflecting negativity towards you, or you don't get positivity you reflect from others. It sometimes with effort and time, sometimes people cannot be all the time negative. Somehow they give up being negative, and
if you continue to be positive towards them.
Not to bring any examples, but we had a professor in our floor. He kind of had a reputation being grumpy, and every morning. But I was preparing for my exam and all that. I wanted all the positivity everywhere. So I started greeting him, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing? He wouldn't listen for the first couple of days, but still, I mean, maybe I'm God character. I just kept doing it. All of a sudden, one day, I didn't say anything. I was in a rush, and he stopped. He said, "Good morning, how are you doing?" I thought, "Oh my goodness, something happened." So I think over the time, even it's really, really negative, really, really good. Sometimes you cannot do it, but it it changes.
Thank you for sharing that experience. Yeah, so maybe we can start as individuals and then maybe try to influence our immediate ones, right? And then hopefully enlarge our circle.
It reminds me of, and I talk with Adrian about this a lot,
Mm.
but it reminds me of, you know, the teaching of the lotus flower grows out of the mud and the decomposed
Yeah.
and the dirt, and brings forth this beautiful
Metaphor.
bloom,
Yeah,
right?
blue, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't grow out of like it's this yin
From
and
mud,
yang.
right?
Yeah.
So you're suggesting that sometimes even the negative things can be fertilizers if you use them.
Fertilizer for change sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if, you know, the news, your experience, not only just the news or media outlets or anything like that, but just the people around you that say, that is negative all the time. There is a way to just sort of like convert it internally, and sometimes that is an internal. Sometimes it is, a loving kindness sort of thing,
Yeah.
of taking someone's negativity and not letting it sink in, but converting it maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm not successful at it a lot,
Yeah.
but I am successful at shutting it off. And I think shutting it off then cuts you off from something. I don't know what you're necessarily being cut off. I'll definitely turn the news off or not read the stuff I don't want to read. But there are influences.
In terms of our immediate people or maybe friends and colleagues, how we can also maintain kind of relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even those, personally, I've cut some of those off too because I've had to. I know that I can't be helpful.
But you try.
But we try. Yeah.
So, because in interaction, we are not only the receiver, but sometimes these people will be like you
Sometimes,
not be a receiver, but we are also capable of giving
We're a mirror.
things, right? So
We're a mirror. We're a broadcaster and receiver.
we are also broadcaster, right?
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
So we can try to broadcast as much good as possible. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to be how good it is, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that, this great story. In during fall, there was a seed fallen down from a tree. There were so many seeds fallen down, but this seed fallen down on the open ground. And after a while, a deer happened to come by, and he stepped into that nut, and it went into the ground. And so all other nuts, fallen down on the beautiful leaves, on the logs, and they are shining. And this nut was thinking that how unfair life is. I was just about to fall down to the most dirty place on earth, and on the top of that, this deer came and he stepped on me, and I'm buried in this darkness. She was complaining how unfair it is. But of course, the nuts that were on the surface of the ground was eaten by chipmunks and other animals. And the one is in the dark inside and really struggle, but it's dark, but of course, that place is also not very like fertile, but after a while, although it was dark period, this, nut has to like somehow come out, and instead of being eaten by someone, it start, throughout roots. And because the ground was not that fertile, and this, nut has to find water, and you have to like really spread its, roots to far away places. It was so, struggling. But of course, it gave a nice sapling, right? But it got, out, but it cannot grow that much. And you see around all other places, the ground are fertile. These plants are, growing, leaves and bounds, and they are really putting leaves. All this one doesn't have enough, water, so it's grow very slowly. How unfair life is. That is what the plant was thinking. But of course, because of that, its roots spread all over the place and find nice water sources, and then it started to grow. And of course, after a while, a storm came, strong wind came, all the plants that were growing in the leaves and bounds, and they have not strong roots, they all fallen down. But this one survived. Sometimes seemingly unfair things can be, as you say, a mud for the lotus. Maybe, I'm not saying that it automatically will become. Maybe we have to make it, right?
It's being grateful for some of the hardships that we face in our lives.
Mm.
Yeah, death being one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few books written about that.
Recently also, I also had a very, very unfortunate incident. Unfortunately, I got into trouble, but then it turned out to be something else. When Bhante Buddhadatta, Bhante, what I want to say, when Bhante Buddhadatta, other monk was here, and so I brought him to Philadelphia. So I want to show him the city of Philadelphia. He was visiting the university. So we were coming we are coming back to Pittsburgh. So I take a Greyhound bus. So we both are in the bus, and there was the bus stopped in a rest area in the middle of turnpike. That's a rest break, So the driver said that we will leave in 30 minutes, and it is like say I think 2 o'clock. Let's say 2 o'clock. so we went into the restroom. We used the restroom, and we went into the convenience store, and we buy some drinks, and because 30 minutes. Usually driver says 10 minutes. So when I'm used to traveling by myself, so I quickly go and grab and go back to the bus. Because this time driver said 30 minutes, we thought that maybe we will have time to sit down and talk. So we sat down in the place that we can see the bus. Only we sat down and had 2 sips of our coffee, we saw the bus was going. And our bags and everything, because they only our handbag, everything is with us. And we ran outside, but the bus is moving. He didn't home, he didn't call. The driver was very strict. He said that 30 minutes. I watched the clock. Yes, 30 minutes has gone. We didn't feel that because we were talking. So now we are in the middle of the state, and the bus went. And we are in big trouble, big trouble. The next day we have to go to cutting ceremony in Detroit also. And so we thought, okay, what we can do now? I tried to open my phone and get Uber. and fixed Uber is trying and trying. After 5 minutes, no driver is found. It's somewhere like a midday. No drivers around that area on farmland. And we are in big trouble. So the only thing, only thing we can do is like ask help. I remember, Fred Rogers, teaching statement. If you find helpers, right? If you look for helpers, you will find them. Okay, this is the only thing we had to do. So we both of us actually, kept asking people. But bus now 10 minutes has gone. The bus is gone, and so we have to somehow catch the bus. We got bags and everything is there. So I know that next stop they go to Harrisburg. They took off from the highway and they go to the city of Harrisburg, and that's bus stop. They take the passengers from there too. So I have been asking people, I talk to a couple, to other people, and they say, okay, you just call Greyhound. The bus is moving, can you help us to catch that? But there was a young boy who came, and he gave a nice smile. I thought, okay, this should be the one. So I gave the full smile I can give to him. And I explained to him, this is what happened, the bus is moving, and will you be able to help us? And he said that, I say that I'm able to go to Harrisburg, bus station. If we go before the bus, we'll be able to get the bus. And he asked, okay, how many minutes it will take? I searched Google, it takes 30 minutes. Okay, get into the car. I will help you. And he's coming from New York, he's just visiting someone in Pennsylvania. He's not from this area, so he has no idea, the distance. And so I told 30 minutes. But we get into the car, and now he's driving 90 miles per hour. We are 20 minutes behind the bus. And he said, okay, good that you got a New York driver. And so it actually helped us a lot. There are so many other things happen, but I don't want to spend time. And so when he was driving 9 miles per hour, he take his phone, he want to take selfie. I found monks and send to his friends. I found monks along the way. He's taking selfies. And I said, okay, I will take it for you because I don't want him to distract. So I took selfie for him. So many other things happened anyway. So he drove, and we got a lot of calls from other drivers also. So anyway, actually, and we took off from the highway, and he was driving. And when we reached the bus station of Greyhound, we saw our buses there. Such a great release, such a great release. Okay, we thank him, and I asked about the Buddha how we get down and quickly get into the bus, if he moves again, we are in big trouble. So I can properly thank him, and we can keep the bus until I come. So he went into the bus, and he was telling me that he's going to Western Pennsylvania. And I asked, exactly, where are you going? He said, somewhere, my friend is living there, he just moved, I will go to visit him. It's somewhere I start with M. Okay, can you tell me? He said, yeah, I said, Monroeville. I told him, okay, that's not very far from where we are from. And I told him, okay, would you mind that we travel with you? I can ask our friends to come and pick us from your friend's place instead of going in the bus. It's okay, if you like, I'm willing. And then I asked Bante, would that okay, take our bags from the bus? We took our bags from the bus, we get into his car, and we had a nice ride from Harrisburg to Monroeville. And that day, our Dhamitra was here to bring us to Detroit, and he came to pick us to his friend's house. And all of them we realized that actually he's a musician. He's a musician, he produced music. His friend is a musician. He's coming to do some recording. And we told them that he can chant. And he called his friend, I found his friends and they can chant. I said, okay, set up your studio. And so when we reached there, actually already Dhamitra was there waiting for us, but we asked his time, and we went into his studio. We recorded two chants, and he was also recording us from his phone and put it in his Instagram, showing that monks are chanting. And now he's a very good friend of us actually. We send messages, and I appreciate his music. I don't know what he will do with the chants. But that missing of the bus, that could be really devastating, and that is somehow turned to be a very pleasant experience. The lotus from the mud.
Sounds like a seventies story. Back in my hitchhiking days.
Bhante, I call those the little glimmers. And I'll speak from my perspective, as long as I stay open and willing during the darker times, the little glimmers always come. As long as I am open and willing to receive them,
Exactly.
the gifts always come.
Exactly. I think the opening is very important, right? Being open. Not shutting it. Because sometimes so many things happen, we want to shut it off, we want to be by ourselves, like, but it's really important.
That's what I'm saying. If you shut off or if you shut down yourself and if you close yourself, grow yourself in a proper way.
Way. Otherwise,
Otherwise it is so bad.
Exactly. So
Bad.
Otherwise, be open, right? Yeah. Recently, I got an invitation to visit a hospice. One patient has made a request that that she wanted to see a monk. So I went to the hospice and she was there and we had a nice chat. She was asking more about me. And anyway, at the end, I really want to learn from her because she's quite at the end of her life. I asked if you like, based on your experience in your life, if you like, I'd give some advice to a young person. What would be your advice? I really wanted to know from her. And she said that just be open. She said that I lost so many opportunities in my life. I lost so many relationships, because I was like suspicious about things, and I was not open enough. I was not receiving. I was afraid. I was fearful. I was not trusting, and therefore I lost so much in my life. So that's a list. It's a big word. For me, that's a big word, big word. So it's something that we can learn. Okay, so it's a nice day. It's a nice, beautiful day. We really want to thank you and appreciate effort of our Wednesday night group for arranging and organizing this. And this has been a tradition, and also
And
to
this
thank
year, Dante, Wednesday night group is so special for us.
Yeah.
Because of we are in the new premises.
Yes,
Because of all of you and especially I think led by the Wednesday night group always to grow this place.
exactly.
When they were, I think that when they were removing that piece of wall in that wall center, we did there. That's how we grew. Dante, thank you and thank you all of us.
Yeah. And also, it's a special moment today. Actually, it's a Thanksgiving gathering. It's also coincide, that with the Bhante leaving next week to Sri Lanka.
Mhm.
So it's also good
I don't
opportunity for
want
us.
to do that, Bhante, I'm sorry.
Just want to express our, gratitude, for Bhante's is appropriate, today,
You helps me and very took care of me and it's a bird.
Yeah. And many of our friends who grew from your meditation, from
Now we
your
can
teaching,
fly.
from your time, and yes. So of course, Bhante will be leaving for Sri Lanka on 30th, of this month. But of course, he said he's a bird now. So like winter birds. Yeah. So during winter time he'll be in warmer country, and during other times he can be back here. So we will always have a nest here. But yes, yes. But you
Thank
anyone
you
would like
so
to?
much.
Oh, Bhante, thank you.
Yes. Maybe anyone would like to express their gratitude?
I don't want to be the first one, but I think I am. I talked to Bhante Pema about this and said I think it would be a good thing if we could all just express our gratitude to Bhante Pema. It's
It's a bittersweet experience because I know he's going to do some wonderful things and he's going to help a lot of people like he's touched a lot of us. And personally, I want to thank him for everything because we have this little joke kind of. When he first came here, I helped him a little bit with his English. And so we call each other teacher because he said I was his teacher, but he's certainly been my teacher. And more than
You are my
anything.
teacher.
Don't do that really right now. I'm fine with him leaving because I know he's going on a wonderful journey, that he's going to do wonderful things. But I have to say to him,
And
I'm
on behalf of everybody, you went and visited my dad, my very sick dad, and thank you so much on behalf of all of you. She did such a great thing.
thank you, Buck.
You are so lovely.
I'm far from a finished product, we know that. And
But-
I'm dealing
But
a little
but-
bit with some attachment issues right now, and that's a good lesson for you to hear from me. And I'll be quick.
and actually, part of our practice is letting go.
I know.
Mm.
I know
No
it.
matter what.
Yep.
Let go. Let go. Let go. That is the ultimate practice in this journey.
But it's
Yeah,
not
I-
exactly. But it's not really throwing away.
No. Opening your hand.
But thank you.
While it is in a very safe and secure,
Give the freedom, right?
give the freedom.
So we give
The bird,
we give
bird
the
will be
freedom.
back
Back.
in the proper season.
From my heart, thank you so much for everything over the years, and just so much fun.
Yes,
And
we have.
I love you so much.
We grow together, we grow.
Anybody else want to share? Please.
Thank you, Bhante. I'm gonna miss that smiling, twinkly eye.
No. Those precious
Yeah.
gems are brightly glittering. Wow.
Yeah, on behalf of my wife and I want to thank you. And we gain a lot by your spiritual advice. And of course, we appreciated your sense of humor as well. And I know we are not supposed to joke with priests, but we appreciated every time we cracked a joke
Actually,
with you.
this is the only place I stayed for. I've been for 10 years. This is the only place. Even I did not stay in one particular place in Sri Lanka for 10 years because of your goodness, because of your beautiful growth. I don't know how can I live. Truly, we grow beyond in a proper way. In a proper way.
Bhante, along with everyone in this room, just a deep, deep bow of gratitude for all that you bring, and particularly for your joy that you share so generously with all of us. And I remember a moment, and it was one of those darker moments when I couldn't flip the switch and find the light. And you emerged out of, this was in our old setting in Natrona Heights, and I had been inside talking with both you and Bhante Pima, and we went outdoors and you did a bit of a walking meditation, and you came up to me at the car and you tapped on the window and you said, "It's going to be okay." And you know, I believed you. And in that moment, I was able to be open and willing to receive the little glimmers that did come, and it was okay. And the lotus transformed from the mud. I've never forgotten that particular moment, though. And so, with all of my heart, I offered that for your kindness that you give so generously, and also a wish that you fly back, little bird, fly back.
Thank you, sir.
This is from all of us, Monte.
And you came behind my car.
Yes, and we're lead-footed drivers, aren't we?
I think you know that story, right? When Bhante was conducting a meditation at Oakman Library, she used to attend that meditation in the library. And so I think she liked the meditation and she really wanted to know where these people live. So one day she actually drive behind Bhante's car, find out where they are living.
And I didn't know
Still,
he
I
knew.
remember that day, somebody was behind me. I just took the exit 16,
Yeah.
but still somebody. Then I turned to the, driveway, then just, I don't know.
That's what I'm telling you.
After that, we have such a lovely mom to our center. And I know Bhante is really enjoying, always talking about you. And I think we have,
I was telling my girlfriend about following you. I followed the monk to see where they lived. She goes, well, wait a minute. You were stalking? I'm going, yeah, I guess I was.
I'm just curious, why didn't you just ask him for seconds?
I don't know, I was being shy. I got over that though.
Yeah, I think we can conclude the session now, right? We will do the same chart right now. So I think this is also the first program. I think Bhante covers this journey, right? Yeah. Yes, actually. So Bhante Kamaleswari came in October, just before Kagnu ceremony. I mean, we have been.
and Bhante, you know what? Yesterday we were in Thailand, and I was on the side, and I was looking at how they are
They
presenting.
were giving the talk, right? The
Exactly same as two of us.
Okay. Because I was doing
Yeah.
another program for
It's a
children
nice
downstairs. Yeah.
They are
So
good.
you are watching them.
They are nice spiritual couple because they know how to do things manually and they know how to tackle the situation. They know how to communicate very nicely. Sometimes they become serious, sometimes they become humorous and so beautiful. But we did a great
They
job.
joke. Recruiting one is right here. Yes.
Yeah, the secret I think because Bhante Pema and Bhante Puna batchmates in the same university, then Bhante
So we learn together, you know.
myself are batchmates in the same university in Sri Lanka. That is why that close relationship we have.
Okay, so let us conclude with grateful, thoughts and minds, and we deeply, appreciate your presence and your presence, your loving kindness, your care actually made this place a home for us. And we grew up in a different country, we grew up with different food and different culture, but when we are here, it is your kindness, your care that made us home. And we are deeply, deeply thankful for that. We feel at home because of you. So with that gratitude, we will do this blessing chant. You can take a moment to bring whoever you want to share these blessings with in this Thanksgiving season. There could be people who are helping you so much right now. People who have shown their kindness to you, and just think about them and share these blessings with them too. We wish that we all receive these good blessings, and may you all receive good health, peace, and happiness. May you all be able to have a happy Thanksgiving season with your family, with your friends, while protecting each other, while taking care of each other. May we have a healthy, safe Thanksgiving season and a happy, joyful year forward. And may we all be able to overcome from this challenging period. May we help each other more. May we be empathetic to each other more. And may we together rise above this challenge, be stronger than before. With these thoughts, we will chant for you. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Mahakaruniko nato hitaya sabbhapaninam puretva parami sabbhapanto sankodimuttramam etena sajja vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam jayanto bodhiyamu Sankyanam Nandivandano Evam Tuyam Jayo Tu Jayasansu Jaya Mangalam Sankatpa Buddharatanam Osadam Uttamam Varamitam Deva Manusanam Buddha Tejena Sundina Santu Padeva Sabbe Dukha Bhupa Samintu Te Sankatva Dhammaratnam Vosadam Uttamam Varam Varila Bhupa Samanam Dhamma Tejena Sundina Santu Padeva Sabbe Bhaya Upasamintu te sankatva sangharatnam osadam uttamam varam ahuniyam pahuniyam sangate jena suntina santu padeva sabbe yoga upasamintu te yankin Ratanam loke vijjati vividha putu Ratanam buddha samanati tasma sotti bhavantu te yankinti Ratanam loke vijjati vividha putu Ratanam dhamma samanati tasma sotti bhavantu te yankinti Ratanam loke vijjati vividha putu Ratanam sangha samannati tasma sotti bhavantu te nati me saranam anyam buddho me saranam varam etena sajja vajjena Hotu te jaya mangalam ati me saranam anyam dhammo me saranam varam etena sajja vajjena Hotu te jaya mangalam ati me saranam anyam sangho me saranam varam etena sajja vajjena Hotu te jaya mangalam sabbetiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu
මාතේ භවත්වන්තරායු සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සම්ම මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්ම දේවතා සම්ම බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොන්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සම්ම මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්ම දේවතා සම්ම ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොන්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සම්ම මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්ම දේවතා සම්ම සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොන්ති භවන්තු තේ.
Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who joined us through online. We hope that you will soon visit us also in one of our events. And for those who are here, we will try blessing strings. So please come to receive blessing.